indicated that like something, but
just a bit very briefly. I think, particularly for a British audience, one has to differentiate between two types of commissioned histories. This type of genre exists in Britain as well, and you have a commissioned history for the MI5, MI6, and so on. And the purpose of a commissioned history is normally to let historians in, selected historians in, and then close the archive again for the rest of the academic community, because you trust some people, but not everyone. So it's a way of writing a history without giving the rest of the academics the opportunity to really check up on it, control it. That's what, for example, industries, the Deutsche Bank can do. They have no obligation. That they didn't do that. They don't have necessarily the obligation to open the archive or other firms. This is not the type of commissioned history which started with the Amt and goes now through the ministries. I think that's of a different type. This is the need of, I mean, I would to a certain extent agree with you. This is the need of institutions, political institutions, to, and their archives are open normally, to make sure these these myths about certain institutions don't persist. And in that sense, I would partly contradict you, because the whole, or the origin of the Amt at least was, please correct me if I'm wrong, it was the problem that there were still so many good diplomats who in fact were highly charged with their Nazi past. And of course you can say it's serving a master narrative of the Federal Republic at the moment, but on the other hand, rather that way around than not.
It was the minister who commissioned them with this purpose.
Yeah.
But there were traditions of memory in the German Foreign Office, clearly denying the fact, marginalizing, ignoring the fact that leading German diplomats after 1945, high-ranking German diplomats, did have a Nazi past and were involved in Nazi crimes and even committed crimes, and nevertheless they received these obituaries, and the Bundesrepublik Deutschland will honor their memory. I mean, and this was not only a post-1968 Joschka Fischer thing. And so, I mean, it may not be methodologically and theoretically innovative what is being done at the moment and what has been done with regards to the Foreign Office. And nevertheless, it has an important public function, and it's part of our public responsibility as historians to be involved and engaged in these contexts. I mean, it's not our only business, of course, but it is part of our business and of our tasks.
But the report was not very surprising for the public.
For the public, yes. For the community,
it answered it, even as well as for the community of historians. It answered, so to say, to the demands of the majority, not all of them, of the majority of the public feuilleton, that at last even the myth of the Foreign Office may have broken. And it was the minister himself who was together with the historians to clear up these last myths of the very old veterans of the foreign diplomacy and its myth. And that's why it was not, as for me, not a very surprising result. Surprising only for me has been the afterwards debate on the Foreign Office and the question of the criminal organization, for example. And it may be that we have just seen a very German debate, as for the historians quarrel in the 80s. Perhaps we will discuss that later on. You have a mind map how we proceed in our question.
We have to see how the questions go. Yeah. Okay, Professor, would you like to respond
to
that?
Just an incredibly brief remark. I would like to know how Martin would like to replace a well-deserved culture of shame as a master narrative.
Perhaps I have not yet understood the point.
Never mind.
No.
It's a trivial comment, don't worry. But
Yeah.
I just think that in some respects it's not a bad idea to bathe in shame for a little while after you've organised the mass murder of 6 million people and you have Foreign Office diplomats putting in their travel receipts. I shall put in my travel receipt for today, my day return to Birmingham, to talk about this. If somebody puts in there, you know it because you've produced it and it's in there, you can show it, the travel receipt for going to watch the annihilation of so and so many Jews in such and such a place. You know, if you can claim your travel expenses, then I think a culture of shame is probably not a bad idea, and bringing that to public attention is probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, but okay, that's